experience when we set up the radiator here, you know, that was like 2004 through 2007. WRUV was super generous. So, you know, there were a number of local radio stations that gave us equipment or sent their engineers over and helped us put together our radio station. Like if you look around, we still have shelves from WRUV here. So we've always considered RUV to be a family radio station. The way we are, being a low-power FM community station, we support other stations. We're not in competition with them. RUV is fundraising now for equipment. We've just come through that process for ourselves, and so now on the Big Heavy site, we're trying to steer people's attention to supporting RUV. What it does, and we do what we do. We have two different paths for programming here. We have volunteer DJs who play whatever they want, and the guidelines for the radiator are we don't syndicate anything, so everything that's programmed happens locally. And the only filter we have if somebody's local and wants to do a show is we don't want anything on the radiator that people could turn the dial a couple clicks and hear on another local station, because then we'd be wasting our frequency, like if somebody wanted to do all top 40 classics or something. That makes what we have to offer very eclectic, very freeform, you know, and it's not all just music. When DJs come on, we have talk shows too on different subjects. But in between the DJs, we automate music by Vermont bands. Part of our job as Big Heavy World is to archive music as much as promote it. So we've collected a lot of it, and to help introduce people to it, we play it randomly in between the DJs. So we're playing random music of every genre in between DJs who have shows that are either talk shows or music of every genre. So our history goes back 20 years, and you know, Wayland Speed hasn't been around quite that long, and they, you know, the members of Wayland Speed had experience in bands that preceded Wayland Speed, so they've got roots in the scene. It's funny that it's actually delightful to have to think about the puzzle of what genre they are, because you know they've described themselves in certain ways that I can't even recall precisely. I'm sure that, you know, like dirt rock, or but they mentioned somebody described them as a cross between the Lumineers and Metallica, and that captures an idea of how strong and soulful they are as songwriters, but how talented technically and, you know, as musicians they are, and energetic when they want to be. So they kind of cover the map, you know, of the kind of energy they put out. It's really nice to share this space, you know, this music community of Vermont headspace. We support original Vermont-made music inclusively. So that's what we're paying attention to. Whether it's high school bands or established artists, we want to build resources that everybody gets to share and nobody's prevented from touching because they don't have money or something. We want to be totally inclusive in what we do to support artists across Vermont of every genre and skill level. So, you know, if it's a Vermont band making original music, then Big Heavy wishes they had a relationship with them, wishes we were playing their music on the radio station, wishes we were having them in as guests on our local music radio hour on Wednesdays. You know, that's what we're here for. We were super busy in the late 90s hooking Vermont music up with opportunities to be synced to like live sports broadcasts in Europe. And there were bands locally that once they got recognized a little, they got recognized a lot, like Chin Ho. You know, if you were around in the 90s, Chin Ho was a name you would recognize. And you know, we still hope they'll do a reunion, which is likely to happen in the next year here. But you know, so that was the kind of thing where we'd be fishing for opportunities like that. Those were all over the world, the U.S., Europe. We also got a lot of music packaged through different companies, through different manufacturers with MP3 players when they first emerged, you know, portable MP3 players. So the Big Heavy logo was on the boxes, and you know, half a dozen Vermont songs were sent out with MP3 players when there was a brand new technology. We hooked up with streaming networks. You know, we would stream concerts from Burlington. In 1996, when the technology for that was still experimental, like MIT students were developing it. It wasn't for real yet, and we were using it to broadcast like Strange Folk from Club Toast. And over time, we built relations with companies that crystallized around streaming technologies like AudioNet, which was run by Mark Cuban, which, you know, is a name you recognize these days. And he built that company. It became Broadcast.com and Yahoo Broadcast, and you know, they're playing hundreds of songs by Vermont artists because of us, you know, on networks attracting viewers to the internet for streaming for the first time. We're always grassroots in our personality and in our capacity, and we've gained a lot of experience in understanding the value of working with other people, other organizations whose missions complement ours, to get more done with less resources, so we can serve more people and make a bigger, you know, benefit for the public. So if you look at almost every project we ever do, there's partners involved. And with those partners, you know, we get to the end of what we're doing a happy dance because everybody got to share in not just the labor, but the excitement of having a vision and making it real, and knowing that we all represent people working together, which is a big deal. There should be more of that. It should be what people strive for. So, you know, 2K Deep's interest in supporting Vermont-based music, it would be like a party to hang out and do fun stuff together.